Hello and welcome to Lights Out Goaltending. In this episode, we're going to look at the number one consideration when buying goalie skates, as well as review a number of features available on goalie skates. Alright, so the number one consideration when choosing goalie skates is comfort/fit. Now, when you're choosing a goalie skate, you need to make sure that the length is right, but you also got to take into consideration the width. There is quite a variation amongst brands, and some will offer a narrow, while others will offer a wider skate. But you need to make sure that both proportions are taken into account. Also, overall comfort is very important. If you're wearing a skate that fits right but isn't comfortable, you're going to develop things like heel spurs or just be in pain while you're playing, and this is going to cause problems, obviously, when you're trying to focus on stopping the puck. Beyond that, it's a good idea to consider things like heat molding. Heat molding will help or shorten the break-in period of the skate and really make for an overall more comfortable skate wear. Alright, so let's look at some of the other features you might want to consider when buying goalie skates. Now, these aren't as important as comfort/fit, but these are some factors you might want to take into account when choosing your goalie skate. Alright, so the first feature we're going to look at here is replaceable steel. Now, this option isn't available on every skate, but you can see on these 9K pump skates here that there are 3 bolts. This allows for removal of the steel and replacement with new steel. This can really extend the life of the skate. After several sharpenings, the steel will start to curve down and bend down on the ends just from getting worn down. This can reduce your grip on lateral pushes because you're not having as much blade contacting the ice. Replaceable steel allows you to keep that like-new grip going even when your skate is several years old. Now, another consideration regarding the steel on goalie skates is the blade thickness. We've mentioned in the past that goalie skates have a thicker steel than player skates, but the option does exist out there to get a thinner steel on the goalie skate. This can reduce the overall weight of the skate, but if you do go for a thinner steel, you're going to need to get a higher degree of sharpening. If you had a 5/8, you might want to switch to a 1/4 inch on a thinner steel. I have tried the thinner steel in the past, but I find I get a better grip with the traditional width steel. When buying goalie skates, you're also going to want to check out the stiffness and support of the skate. A quick way to check this is to give it a bit of a squeeze from the sides. Different goalies like different levels of stiffness and support, but once you find what works for you, it's real easy to check it with this simple test. Another less common feature on goalie skates is pumps. Now, there's bladders inside the skate on each side. Pumping this up increases the stiffness, support, and comfort of the skate by putting air into those bladders. Now, I find I don't really use the pumps at all on these skates, but this is something you might want to consider when looking at skates if it's a feature that you like. Another feature available on some skates is a lockdown lace. We've mentioned in the past that you don't want to have the top part of the skate too tight because it'll take away your range of motion when you're getting into your stance. This lockdown lace allows you to have a different tightness in the bottom area of the skate versus the top, and it's a feature you might want to consider. Now, not all goalie skates have the same foot angle. Some goalie skates, such as a Graph, have a higher heel, which changes the angle that your foot sits at in the skate. This can allow you to keep the laces a little bit tighter at the top while still maintaining a nice low crouch. Only you can tell what foot angle you like in your skates, but it's another consideration when buying your goalie skates. Now, something else to watch for when buying goalie skates is the tongue. The tongue seems like a simple and insignificant part of the skate, but it's not. A cheap or a low-end tongue is going to allow for lace bite. Lace bite is when your laces press into the tongue and it actually bites right through into your ankle. This can make putting on your skates to play hockey a real drag, so it's something to keep an eye on when you're buying your goalie skates. Something you're going to want to briefly look at when buying your goalie skates is pad integration. Not all goalie skates have the same shaped cowling toe, which can lead to issues when transitioning into your butterfly. You'll also want to look at the holes underneath for how you're going to tie your pads to your skates. And finally, just take a quick look at the back of the skate and make sure it doesn't interfere with your straps on your pads. This is a minor consideration, but something you'll want to take a quick look at when buying goalie skates. And finally, a feature on some goalie skates is ventilation. If this is something you like, it's something to keep in mind, but it's not a major factor in buying your goalie skates. Okay, so now that you know some of the things to look for, make sure you take your time when buying goalie skates. Do your research, talk to other goalies, perhaps online in the Lights Out community, and never limit your selection to what's available in your local sports store. You can always buy online or order things in, and it's always better to be patient and wait for the right product to come in than it is to buy something off the shelf and find out it doesn't work for you. Also, leave yourself 5 ice times at least to get used to any piece of equipment. You don't want to show up to a tryout with new gear and find that because you're not used to it, it's going to ruin your chances to make a team. We hope this video has been helpful. Comment, ask questions, and we'll do our best to help you out.